Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. I hope you all are doing well in your lives and are enjoying the content that I have here for you. So today's video is going to be a bit different. It's not really going to be the typical devlog that I normally do, but rather just a review of some reviews that I've gotten on the game so far. So about 3 weeks ago, I made a post on Reddit asking if anybody would be interested in possibly playtesting the current demo build that I had of the game. And I wanted to get some feedback on the game as it was to help pinpoint any issues or mechanics that I may have overlooked while developing the game. One thing that I've learned from developing this game is that as the developer, I'm the worst person to be doing the playtesting. I've come to discover that due to the fact that I made the game, I know exactly how to play it, which isn't good. When I playtest the game, I know what causes a bug issue and what doesn't, so when I playtest, I don't find all of the hidden bugs that exist within the game. Also considering the fact that players can be unpredictable and do unpredictable things that I had never thought of, which may also cause a bug to occur that I hadn't experienced myself. To my surprise, I had about 10 people comment back to me wanting to try it out. Out of those 10 people, 4 of them have been nice enough to make review videos of them playing the demo version of the game, and I really love these videos. I wanted to target smaller content creators for this as I felt that the smaller creators would be more honest with their play experience and their feedback, and the feedback that I did get from these guys was amazing and extremely useful. So I really like to just share the results from the playtesters and also go over some plans that I have either to rectify or improve upon the feedback that they provided for me. So please sit back, relax, and join me as we go over some of these results together. And again, I really want to thank you and the playtesters for helping support the game and the channel. I couldn't do any of this without you guys, so please make sure to like, subscribe, and comment down below if there's anything that you would like to see or for me to cover more in depth. I really appreciate the support, you guys. So without any further hesitation, let's get right into it. Okay guys, so as I said before, big shout out to the people who volunteered for this. I got a lot of great feedback, so I'd like to share that with you now and kind of highlight some of the issues that did pop up throughout the playtesters' time with the game. So before I sent the demo out, I created a Google form that I would send along with the game and ask the playtesters to please fill the form out after they spent time with the game. The questions are pretty basic, but will overall give me a good idea of what works for the game and what may be hindering the overall experience. I sent the demo and form out to 10 playtesters, and after about a week, I'd gotten 5 entries for the forms. The first and main issue that popped up for pretty much every playtester had to do with the fire and the fire extinguishers, especially during the tutorial section of level 2.
And not having a spray or shot go where the reticle is, yet only works where the reticle is.
Try putting out fire now. Am I too far? Am I too close? Is it working? Is it working? I don't think it's working.
Try putting out the fire now. Nothing's happening.
If you haven't been following along with the devlogs for the game, I recommend checking those out so that you can get a better understanding of what I'll be talking about. But the basics are pretty much this. Level 1 and 2 are tutorial levels where the game teaches the player the basic mechanics within the game. Level 2 in particular requires the player to extinguish a fire that's on the grill using the fire extinguisher. The player can equip and unequip the fire extinguisher and spray the extinguisher with the left mouse button when equipped. Once the fire is put out, the tutorial continues on and the player is given their next task. The issue is that the fire extinguisher equips to the right hand, which is offset of the player to the right of the screen. When the player uses the fire extinguisher on the left mouse button, the stream comes from the spout of the extinguisher just to the right of the player. But the line trace that is checking to see if it's actually hitting a collision for a fire is coming straight out through the player and hitting the center reticle, which is located on the screen. Basically, every playtester had issues with this and was a major oversight on my part.
This should be a crime in my opinion.
Is it working? I don't think it's working.
Level failed.
Luckily, this was a pretty easy fix and I was able to walk most of the playtesters through the issue after this point so that they could continue on with their playthroughs.
Just give it some time. Give it some time. Let it cool down. Let it cool down.
Oh, okay. No, I think I get it. I'm going to test my theory right now. Theory has been proven correct. You have to be on the fire and then activate the fire extinguisher.
Okay, so I just figured out how to put the fire out. I talked to the developer about it. They told me that when you do it, the flame will get smaller and smaller and smaller. I just wasn't getting enough indication quickly enough, or it wasn't presenting itself in a way where I realized, oh, it's actually working.
A few playtesters also gave me good feedback for ways on improving this, such as adding sound effects or smoke particle effects to indicate to the player that something was happening. I also think that I may add a mechanic where the fire's health will be represented when the player looks at the fire, as well as moving the fire extinguisher closer to where the center reticle is so that the spray hits the center reticle, thus hopefully relieving any confusion for future players. The next major issues that the playtesters found was some kind of bug where the dialogue box from the manager NPC wouldn't pop up. This was a huge problem because until the dialogue is completely finished, the player had no control.
Fantastic. Do you care to give me more words? Or did I already break you? Sir, are you okay? What is happening? Did I actually break it? It's actually a very good thing. If this kind of stuff happens, I'm sure that the creators would want to know.
They couldn't pause the game or anything to get out of the level, so they would have to task manager out of the game entirely and completely start over. This also brought up the next issue of having to restart the entire tutorial sequence if the game did have to be reset due to a bug.
Let's get this over with. Eat up. Oh, why are you angry? Uh-oh. You don't like it? That's exactly what you asked for. What's wrong? It says burger. What do I do?
A few of the playtesters reported that this was very annoying having to go through the entire beginning level again because a bug made it so that they could not progress any further. To help resolve this, I plan on making a level selection screen where the player will be able to choose which level they want to play, as well as optimizing and fixing any bugs within the dialog box itself. This should help resolve the issue with the dialog box as well as give the player a better way to restart and revisit previous levels within the campaign section of the game. Another issue that I noticed while watching the playtesters play the game was some issue where the beginning menu doesn't show the background video, so instead shows a blank white screen with the main menu widget laying over top. None of the playtesters knew that this was an issue because I'm sure that they didn't know that there was supposed to be a video in the background playing along with the music. Why this occurred for everyone isn't really clear to me at the moment, so this is something that I will have to dig into and see what the issue is with that. Stemming from this, I did get some feedback that having an option to be able to adjust the audio options of the game would be a welcome addition. Many playtesters reported that the sounds are great, but having the option to adjust the levels of audio would be really helpful with the player experience overall, so I plan on implementing this functionality into the game as soon as possible. That pretty much covers all of the main issues with gameplay functionality, and again, I really appreciate these guys taking the time out of their lives to test this game out for me and give me some really good feedback for improvements. One of these being the addition of making a large variety of sandwiches and also the addition of making french fries. It just so happens that I do have this plan for future implementation, but I really wanted to make sure that I get the core mechanics of being able to take orders and serve customers without having any issues with game-breaking bugs first before adding any more mechanics that could possibly cause more issues. I already have some of the models of these created and can even be seen in the playtesters' playthroughs scattered around the world. The object to the left of the grill will actually be the fryer vat that the player will need to use to cook french fries, and in front of that I have 3 drink machines lined up on the back counter. And like I said, once I get these major issues that I listed earlier fixed up, I will then begin working on implementation of these as well as adding tomatoes, lettuce, and pickles to the list of ingredients as well. I also had a few playtesters suggest more cosmetic options for the player character as well, so I'll get working on that as soon as I can, but I do have plans to implement unlockable cosmetic options through gameplay achievements. This isn't really hard to implement as it is time consuming to go in and design textures and then add them as materials within Unreal Engine, but I do also think that this will give the player incentive to do specific things within the game to unlock these rare cosmetics. One playtester even touched on an idea that I had been thinking about implementing, which is being able to have the restaurant be somewhat customizable by the player.
A few things I definitely think you can touch up on. Customization, so I think it would be super cool if you could have different kinds of outfits, maybe be able to earn the hat or buy the hat, be able to buy things for the restaurant, upgrade it.
Not entirely sure how I'll be doing that, but I really am happy that I wasn't the only one thinking that this would be a good addition to the game. The last thing that I'll touch on is the ordering mechanics and having to go to the register to take the customer's order. I had a few playtesters suggest possibly having the option to hire other employees to help do tasks within the game, and I think that this would be a fantastic idea. This way the player could hire someone to take orders or take orders out to the customers, and the player could remain back in the kitchen cooking and putting the orders together. This will require a lot of work to implement, but I really do think that this is something that must be added into the game to help improve the experience and also give the player a sense of accomplishment as they grow their team and make more and more money doing so. I'm sorry to say, and I know I got a few requests for this, but I don't think I'll be able to make this into a multiplayer game, unfortunately. During the planning and pre-production stages, I really did have the ambitious goal of making this a multiplayer game, but unfortunately while I was setting up the basic functionality of the game, I was still very new to Unreal Engine itself and I hadn't really made a 3D game like this before, so there was a lot of learning along the way as I added more and more to the game, and I've discovered that the way that I have some variables and cast nodes set up, especially for the player character's blueprint, it's not how you set up the logic for a multiplayer client to server experience. Without getting into too much technical jargon, I'd have to go back through pretty much every piece of code and adapt it to be responsive for both client and server-side situations, which as a beginning indie game developer, I did not know at all. I unfortunately discovered this fact about a year after working on the main version of the game, and I just don't think that I can push myself enough to actually do this and go through absolutely everything again to set this up. I'm a single developer and I have probably close to 100 different blueprints, not to mention widgets, all that have their own functions and code, so I don't foresee this becoming a multiplayer game anytime soon, but hey, never say never, right? Well guys, that's going to be it for this video. Again, I really want to thank Sausage Mahoney, Meaty or Meat Missile, Kennysaurus Wrecks, and photographer Kuro for volunteering for this and being nice enough to actually provide video along with submitting the feedback forms. This has been an amazing experience and I'm so glad I have worked with these content creators and to have shared my progress with them. Be sure to check out their channels as well as dropping likes and subs for these guys. They all have great content and have released videos of their personal experiences with the game, so be sure to check those out as well if you want to get a little more clarification on some things that I covered in this video. I'll be sure to add links to all of them down below guys, so go check them out and thank you guys again and I'll see you in the next one. Later.